Time for your fan weather forecast. 72 degrees and cloudy right now in Milwaukee. Temperatures rising into the low 80s as the afternoon moves along with a very slight chance of rain later on in the night. Fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish and Rotier.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way.
We're on a mission from God.
I'm back, baby.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
They say everyone deserves a second chance. Apparently, so do radio shows.
We are back, baby.
After years apart, countless bad sports takes from everyone else, and more than a few people saying, you know who should do a show together again?
We're back.
Somebody actually made it happen.
We are back. We are back.
Steve Czaban and Josh Albrecht. Back together. Again.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
A man who loves digital assets, hates replay, and always leaves early. Milwaukee's adopted hometown son, Steve Czaban.
I can't believe what we're seeing. What just happened?
It's the Steve Czaban Show with Josh Albrecht on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Fly ball to right. Back on it is Lara. Lara finding his way. And he leaps and makes the catch. Luis Lara still finding his way in American Family Field. And he found that baseball just in time. What a catch. The rookie Lara saves an extra base hit. And there it was yesterday, the 24th game for the 21-year-old kid in right field. And man, was that exciting. How you doing, everybody, and welcome aboard. We are here for a good time, not a long time. The Steve Czaban Show without Josh today or all this week. He is out in California.
He told me he had enough of you.
Disneyland.
He said, I've had enough of that guy.
Well, feeling is mutual then. You know, I spent a lot of time there, Aaron Morse.
Yeah.
Good to see you this morning. Glad you're holding down the fort because Sparky said he's working very shorthanded this week.
Mm-hmm.
Both Josh is out, Rami is out. 'Tis summer. By the way, 'tis day 'tis day 81 of 109. I've declared 109 days of summer this year.
Okay.
I didn't really declare it. I count summer to be the Friday before Memorial Day until now. Labor Day is always on the first Monday of September. I had to look that up to realize that's how they said it because I'm like, typing into Google, when is Labor Day 2026? It's the first Monday every September. Okay, good. So it's September 7th. So it falls the latest it could possibly fall. The reason I count Friday before Memorial Day is the first day of summer. Ain't nobody doing nothing on that Friday. Am I right? Like, that's a complete joke of a day. That's Ferris Bueller's day off, right? So the actual days of summer do vary. It's usually about 100. We're at 109 this summer, and we're currently on day 81. We got 28 left, and we got to make the most of it. So guys are on vacation, including Josh out in California. How was your weekend, my friend?
Good. I had a wedding Saturday. Played some baseball Friday. Didn't go so well. I ran straight into a fence on Friday night.
Like Luis Lara did?
Yeah, except I didn't make the play, and I didn't know the fence was coming because nobody told me. I never looked because I thought it was just going to be a casual fly ball, and I just full speed into a fence.
All right. I need to get up to speed on the Book of Morse. you play adult
Yep.
recreational baseball?
I do. Yep.
That is awesome. How old are you, young man?
I just turned 29 last week.
That is fantastic. Do you play it down at the Rock in Franklin?
No, I actually play back in up near Clintonville, which is about 40 minutes from Green Bay.
Oh, you
So,
play up north.
Yeah, so
Okay.
where I went to high school and where my parents still live, that's the team I still play for. A bunch of friends still play on it. So
What
I've
is
stuck around there.
what is the league? What is the organization?
It's called the Badger Amateur Baseball Association, the
BAB.
BABA. Yep,
the BAB.
yep.
Playing in the BAB. And what position do you play?
Center
Outfield?
field.
Center field. So you got
Mhm.
wheels.
Not
And
as
you
much
got
as I once
leather.
did, but yeah,
It's
yeah,
fantastic. So did you play in high school?
yeah, yep.
Did you play in college?
I did not. No,
Okay.
not quite that
wood,
good.
Wood bat
Yep.
league or aluminum?
Wood bat. Yep, wood bat.
Full player, fast pitch, all that stuff.
Yep.
Umpires,
Yep.
double steals,
Yep.
bean balls.
Yep.
Do you tap the helmet to appeal to
I wish. I wish. I struck out on Friday in a pitch that landed in the left-handed batter's box, and I wish I could have tapped the helmet.
Yeah, well, it's because you probably have umpires that, generously speaking, are making $6 an hour or whatever they
I
pay
think
them in that
it's-
league.
I think it's $100 a game.
Okay.
It's
All right,
not
well, you
terrible.
could.
Yeah.
I mean, the games can last a couple hours.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It's not awful, but even they realize this is not a path to the major leagues.
Right,
So
right.
let's just try to keep it fair.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you play, and how long do you plan to play? How deep?
As long as I can.
Okay.
Because once I stop, like if I don't play next year, am I going to pick it up in 2028?
See, that's the
like,
thing.
Yeah. So
That's
I
the
gotta
thing.
I
Once
gotta
you
keep
give it
playing.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
that's
keep
good.
playing as long as I can.
Baseball is fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun to play. It's certainly fun to watch. And it's really fun when you got a team like the 2026 Milwaukee Brewers. Now they are 30 games over 500. Outrageous. 74 and 44. 5-2 homestand. The lead in the division is only 5.5 because the Cubs keep coming. And this is a point of debate among some about whether you'd prefer the Brewers to walk away with the division or if you want the smoke, if you need that tension down the stretch. We got two huge series looming with the Cubs in September, and that is going to be epic. I wouldn't want it any other way. I feel like, sure, fine, you're winning. That's great. But this team is not only good, searingly good, they're exciting, and they are everything baseball is supposed to be. This is what Murph highlighted in the post-game comments. He said, this was the best team win we've had all year. Every player, to a man, echoing that sentiment, that this team plays like a team. The sum of the parts is not what it is. Well, no, wait. The sum of the parts is greater than the whole, or whatever that cliche is. I mean, they got good players, don't get me wrong. But when a baseball team comes together and everybody's doing what they can, whether it's Contreras catching into the 10th inning or Yelich pinch running, and then, the kids, the rookies making plays like that, freaking Spider-Manning it. What a great quote from Brooks Lee. He said, I felt like he gave up on the play, and then all of a sudden, he's effing Spider-Manning and making. Yes. That is so damn glorious. And when you consider all these things, I mean, the Terang slide into home was an absolute ballsy ball players kind of play. Perfect slide, wide of the plate, sticks his hand out, his palm flat to the dirt, gets it in just under the tag. A rather risky send in extra innings, but you know what he said? YOLO, I'm going. And he gets in there. It's an absolute crime he was not an all-star, but we know he really is. Total player, one of the great young players in this team, and the good young players keep coming, like Laura, who came on top of Churio, who came on top of, Miz, who came on top of Mitchell and Terang, and they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. Did you see where Andrew Fisher hit his minor league leading 35th bomb over the weekend? Glorious. Logan Henderson, still a Brewer. Glorious. Jesus Made, or Jesus Made, as I like to call him, not here yet. Number one prospect in all of baseball. They're all still in the quiver because nobody panicked when the Tigers got stupid with their ask on Tarek Skubal. Oh, and did you see the Dodgers have now lost 8 of 9?
Womp, womp.
Womp, womp, womp. Miz throwing absolute gas. I mean, this is what you got to enjoy as a fan. These are days, as I like to play the great song by Natalie Merchant. These are the days you should absolutely savor and relish. Another sellout, by the way. Incredible live crowd. Place was packed to the gills. The journey in life is so often the destination. It really is. You can't be obsessed with end results, especially in sports, where the Americanized version of playoffs, because remember that many leagues around the world don't even have playoffs. They just play the season, count the wins, keep the table, declare a winner. In America, we're like, hey, this regular season was fun. What if we did another season where we eliminate teams and then declare the champion and wait for it, we can make money, more money on top of the money, because we're America. We're about monetizing stuff. Don't be obsessed with the playoff end result. The net result, when it's all said and done, whatever happens in the postseason is going to happen. You got to believe that it's someday going to be ordained by the gods that this is it. But if you're worried too much about what's going to happen in October, what might happen in October, you're going to not appreciate this ride and this team right now. And that's a message, young Aaron, that I believe Josh will someday learn. That day is not today, because he's still not wired that way. He is wired too obsessed. He is wired to worry, and I want him to get off of that, because you got to appreciate what's going on right here. You being a guy who does play baseball, I'm going to call you a ball player. You're a ball player.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
You understand how special teams and seasons like this are, right?
You just kind of have the feeling sometimes, right? Like you just
That this team is special.
Yeah, that you're just like, you're gonna win. You know, sometimes you're just like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna advance, right? I don't know. It's just you could be down 9-5, and you're like, we're gonna win. We're
right.
Who cares?
You got the vibe.
Yeah.
You got that mojo. You got that feel to it. But again, what a run, what a season. And the Brewers finished the homestand 5-2, 30 games over for the first time all year. Leading the division is only 5.5, but that's okay. Out west to San Diego, which we know from Ron Burgundy stands for Wales. Whoa. Don't say that. Okay. So we got that to talk about this morning in our hour. Plus, we got to talk about the Packers and family night. There were highlights. There were things that made you go, ooh. There were things that made you go, as a Packer fan, yeah. Keyshawn Nixon, roasted pretty much all the time. Getting roasted in practice. He's getting roasted in family night. Matthew Golden is about to break out. Hopefully we throw him the ball this year. I know last year the team kind of bragged about it. Oh, relax. He's a rookie. He's going to get his looks. We still need to throw an inordinate amount of 7-yard outs to Romeo Doubs, and before we're done with him, and we'll let him leave in the offseason. But don't worry, we're going to get to Golden. Everyone is like, throw it to Golden. We drafted him. What are we doing? He looks so sweet. And Nixon looks like he is toast. He looks like a special teamer that probably never deserved to be CB1, but did anyway, just because, well, the team had a soft spot at CB1. Cisse looks great, but Nixon was recently, I believe, this practice on Sunday working with the twos. And I saw the funniest tweet, Aaron, of somebody saying, relax, it's happening, people. We've prepared for this moment. That is so damn funny.
We've been waiting.
Relax. Finally, he's now with the twos. Keyshawn Nixon. I mean, look, it's tough for him. It's tough for any athlete as they realize it's starting to slip and they can't play like they once did. And, of course, corner is the most demanding position on the football field. It is physically demanding. It requires you to have the mentality of a goldfish, though. Like you get roasted on a pass play, you just got to forget about it. Just red pen light yourself, men in black, right in front of your face. Forget it. Next play, here we go. But LaFleur said there was a bunch of sloppy penalties in the game, but it was, of course, family night. The best thing of all is nobody got hurt. Nobody got seriously hurt, which in the NFL can happen just doing anything. The Commanders lost left tackle Laramie Tunsil to a torn tricep in a blocking drill over the weekend. They just poured like $100 million into him. Whoops.
Highest paid tackle. Highest
Yes.
paid tackle in the league, yeah.
Yes, exactly right. So those were good things out of family night. There was fireworks. Weather was good. Everyone had a good time. We're just ticking these little milestones off the list. Next up is Thursday night against the Steelers in the preseason. Rodgers may play and may play a decent amount under new head coach Mike McCarthy. We'll see about that. LaFleur has said he wants everyone who is healthy enough to play to be prepared to start on Thursday or prepared to play on Thursday. How much, Aaron, do you want any starter, any player of significance to actually play on Thursday?
I want 0 starters to play.
0.
I want them to play 0%. They can go through warm-ups and dress if they want to try to get used to getting ready for a game day feel. But once warm-ups are done and the national anthem happens, oh yeah, sorry, you can take
Yeah,
we'll take a little rest.
You're not active.
Yeah.
Right? You give us your helmet.
Exactly.
You're not playing. Yeah. That would probably be my preferred thing as well. There is no science to this. There is no provable theory as to just how much preseason action helps established players. And there is no real gauge of what additional percentage of risk you are putting your players in to get injured. The trend in the NFL has been absolutely less and less action for significant guys. McVay in Los Angeles has been the pioneer, kind of the front runner of, I ain't playing anybody, and I ain't making no apologies. And I kind of buy into that. I kind of agree with that because, look, any sort of, shall we say, in-season sort of timing and rhythm you get from August games, what is that going to matter come October, come November, come December, when you're now working without your starting left guard, your wide receivers 1 and 2, and pick another number of guys who are out due to injury? Is it really going to matter? And my hunch is it's not. It can't. The season's too long. Things change too much. So don't do live fire drills with your players. But things tend to go in trends, and so if a number of teams start to play their starters more in August, we may see other teams being copycats when it comes to that. All right, quick break. Text window is open. Remind me the text number. I should have wrote this down.
414-677-1250.
Okay, 677-1250 if you want to chime in. Brewers spectacular weekend. And yes, there is my girl, Natalie Merchant. These are days. Coming up, a tribute to Don Nelson. He was a beaut in every regards and so influential to the game of basketball beyond just his limited time, but beloved time here in Milwaukee. We'll talk about it next. Steve Czaban Show. No Josh. He's off to Disneyland in California. Aaron Morris is running the show and sitting in with me right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Studios.
fellas. Congratulations, Don. Next Laker, I guess you're pretty happy to pick up that line edge. Do you tend to lose a little momentum? Or?
Not in a big game like this, certainly not. But the Lakers came right back. They're really truly a great team because they didn't quit. They fought us all the way, and we had to scratch for our lives.
You had one foul there in the late going that they called on you. It could have been a turning point in the game. That shake you up a little bit?
Yeah, I could have been the GOAT, and as it was, I ended up making a lucky hoop. So I'm really tickled.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
A lucky hoop, and so I'm really tickled. Boy, doesn't that epitomize Iowa nice. Don Nelson, rest in peace, passed away yesterday at 84, I want to say, 85, something like that. A full, amazing life. Almost a Forrest Gumpian type life in basketball. We'll get into that in just a second. Welcome back, Steve Czaban Show. With Josh Albrecht off on vacation. Aaron Morse is here running the show today. Don Nelson, the more I dug into stuff, and I, of course, like a lot of people, we got flooded on social media with, hey, remember that time Don Nelson did this? Hey, did you know that Don Nelson once did that? Hey, don't forget about Don Nelson when he played basketball was really good and influential. That clip was after Game 7 of the 1969 NBA Finals. And he hit a jump shot from the elbow right around the free throw line that bounced high off the back iron and dropped in after Havlicek tried to get a shot off but couldn't. And the ball got knocked over to Nelson, who then hit the shot. That was like with a minute and change to go. I saw the highlight of it, and of course, anytime you get that far back in time, the basketball looks prehistoric.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. It doesn't give the guys a good visual. It doesn't help their image at all.
Yeah, but it was the state of the game back in the day. This is why I get into arguments with my even older, old head sports radio guys who are in their late 60s, who want to believe in this fantasy like, oh, yeah, Pistol Pete could play in today's NBA. I'm like, shut your no. In a million years, he'd get that waist-high dribble of his picked clean. Because today's athletes are stronger, faster, better trained. They've got more moves that were not even considered back in the day. They're also allowed to get away with a lot more because officiating on these sort of like cheaty moves has definitely gotten a lot looser over the years. But, you know, the state of the art of basketball improves over the years. But Don Nelson was an excellent, reliable player for the Boston Celtics before he even became a coach. And then he became a coach, and he has so many iterations, so many stops. It's hard to, like, pin down, okay, what's your core Don Nelson memory? You're a young buck at 29, so I'm sure you don't remember him coaching here in Milwaukee. But when I say Don Nelson, first thing you think about is what?
Oh.
Fish ties.
I get
fish ties.
No, that's not the first thing I would think of.
I think about. He loved the fish ties here, which was great. It's like, hey, look at this. It's a tie. Looks like a fish.
Yeah,
Did you know that Don Nelson fought the league once about the shoes he was allowed to wear?
So he just wanted to wear a certain pair of shoes, and they were too showy.
He wanted to wear sneakers
on
the court as a coach. He wanted to wear his Converse. And the league, I guess for whatever reason, they were being real sticklers. They're like, no, you got to wear a suit, tie, and dress shoes. And Don Nelson's like, this is ridiculous. Here's the story. Dateline Milwaukee, Associated Press. Don Nelson, coach of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks, says it's ridiculous that the NBA doesn't want him to wear basketball shoes when coaching. The league has told Nelson the Bucks would be fined if he continued to wear athletic shoes with a clearly visible branded name.
It's the opposite nowadays. Coaches are all wearing their sneakers with their suits or whatever they're wearing nowadays.
Correct. It's the opposite now. In fact, it's gone so far as to former Niners head coach Mike Nolan, about 25 years ago now, wanted to wear a suit and tie on the NFL sidelines because that's what his dad used to do when he coached. And the NFL said, no, you're not allowed. And he's like, what do you mean I'm not allowed? And the NFL's like, we dress you up in whatever sideline gear we're pushing at NFLshop.com on a given week. And sadly, I buy a lot of that crap, but that's a whole nother
Start
story.
to put suits on NFLshop.com.
So that was the thing. So now people are like, well, hold on a second. There's a way that we could sell a Mike Nolan suit, but nobody's going to buy a suit from NFLshop.com and then wear it sitting on their couch watching a Niner game. But anyway, so it's clearly gone the other way. The fine would be whatever would be applicable to gain compliance with the rules, said Gary Bettman, that guy, NBA General Counsel. So he was the lead old lawyer of the NBA back then. And the fine will be GRU, as I call him. The fine would be whatever would be applicable to gain compliance. Under league rules, coaches are not allowed to wear footwear or any other apparel that clearly has a visible brand or name or emblem on them. The Converse emblem shows beneath the cuff of Nelson's pants. Nelson was saying it's totally ridiculous not to wear basketball shoes when you're on the basketball court. I wear them for practice when I'm on the practice court. For years, it seemed ludicrous to me to not wear them. They allow players to wear whatever the shoes they want. They allow referees to wear the shoes with a logo on them. They even allowed trainers to wear a shoe with a logo on it last year. Now they're not allowing me the same privilege. For Tuesday's game in Philadelphia, Nelson wore coaching shoes with athletic tape covering the brand name. That's who he was. In his later years, he kind of dropped off the radar. And when a reporter finally got to do an interview with him and asked, like, so where you been? Like, what are you doing? Nelson said, the basketball world doesn't miss me. Besides, I'm hanging out here in Hawaii, growing his own marijuana and spending his days playing poker with his buddies in a custom-built gaming lounge, sort of like a man cave in his place in Hawaii.
The dude's dude.
A total dude's dude. And the players that all played for him, they didn't just respect him. They loved Don Nelson. They loved him for who he was. Don Nelson was both a player's coach, but also a guy who would make you better, and also a guy who expanded the notions of what can be done when it comes to playing the professional game, which really trickled down to the college game as well. Hell, he was instrumental in the early coaching and the drafting of one Steph Curry in Golden State. There's a picture that I saw yesterday of Nelson giving a wide-eyed, smiling Steph Curry a big hug. And Steph Curry, when he came into the league, looks like a kid, Aaron, who had somehow won a contest to play in the NBA. It was a joke. Like, he had not hit the weight room at that time. He looked so young. He wore these shorts that were so big. He was swimming in them. But Don Nelson, in his wisdom of how the game could be played, said, look, this kid has supernatural shooting skills. I don't care that he looks like he's 140 pounds soaking wet. Work on that. This kid can knock it out from 30 feet with the flick of a wrist. That is an asset that we can use. We're going to figure out how to use him. Next thing you know, by the time it's all said and done, Steph Curry is in the pantheon of all-time great NBA players. That's Don Nelson for you right there. He used Paul Pressey as a point forward here in Milwaukee. That was also something that had never been done before. Just a beautiful basketball mind who grew into coaching. I mean, it's rare for a great player, and he was a great player. He was lowercase g great. He was really good, almost great player for the Celtics. It's rare for the great players to then become great coaches. And sometimes the great coaches, they may be respected, but they're not liked. Or they may be liked, but they're not loved. Oh, Don Nelson is freaking loved. He was freaking loved, and may he rest in peace. But, man, the stories that have just come out about him now.
You got a couple on the Nicolay Law talking text line. 920 says Don Nelson did a tractor tour and came to the Brown County Fair every year up here in Green Bay.
Yes, that's another story I was going to get to. So during his time in Wisconsin, when farmers were having a real tough go of it, he supported them by driving tractors all over the state, which is fantastic. How about this for a story? At Iowa, when he was there, he was one of 5. They're pretty good at Iowa. His junior year. 4 other starters became academically ineligible, and he stayed anyway. Of course, there was no portal back then. There was no NIL back then, obviously. But still. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. I went to flick my phone, and just mayhem broke out.
This is Don Nelson.
Shut
playing poker.
up, phone, for God's sake. I was just trying to get my clock up. So there was none of the modern trappings of college sports. But you wonder, okay, it's 1960 whatever, 62 in Iowa. Everyone's got crew cuts. The film footage is black and white. How did 4 other starters become academically ineligible? You want to hear this one? This is an all-timer. I couldn't when I heard the story about what happened, why they become academically ineligible, get a load of this.
Don Nelson, the 2012 graduate. Don Nelson, all Big Ten basketball player, early 1960s. His coach was a very young Sharm Sherman.
He was my mentor. He was just such a wonderful man. I emulated him. I tried to anyway. Our teams were just okay, probably 500, a little bit better. So we had to scrap for everything we did, but it was very rewarding.
The Hawks caught fire during Nelson's junior year. They were 12-3 and nationally ranked when a bombshell arrived with the semester grades. The other 4 starters were academically ineligible.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
And the fellows who failed were much brighter than I was, but took also tough courses. And one guy failed calculus, for example, and then all of a sudden we're down to just 1 starter. That was
They're too smart.
They took courses that were too hard. One of the guys took calculus, failed it, and they made him academically ineligible.
Hey, sorry you took an advanced course.
Right. Now, guys take underwater basket weaving, and they fail that. And they still look the other way. Or they just cover it up. Or they have some other students turn in their tests for them.
Got another.
That's incredible.
Got
right
another
there.
story on the talking text line. Said in the 262 fellas, when Nelly was coaching the Bucks in the early 80s, I was tending bar at the hotel Steeplechase in Pewaukee. Nelly came in a few times after a game, and he always had his Ralph Marlin tie on and a lovely lady on each arm. He drank Dewars on the rocks. That's Stephen Richfield.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Man, by the way, after they lost 4 of their starters to being academically ineligible, guys taking calculus, failing it, that was really smart of you during the basketball season. He stayed, hung in there, and Don Nelson and 4 other new starters nearly beat number 1 ranked Ohio State. So just one of many great stories. Oh, there's also the time in which he tried to fight Karl Malone. When he was coaching the Mavericks, Karl Malone in his prime was a bad mofo. And Don Nelson had enough of it. He was already bitching at the refs about not getting enough calls. Then Karl Malone comes over and decides to chirp him just a bit. And then
for his lowly Mavericks, which
there you go. Then Don Nelson, here it is. Right?
Meantime, a bizarre incident in Dallas where Mavericks coach Don Nelson took after Utah Jazz star Karl Malone. Nelson had been ejected for arguing a call and then turned his anger on Malone. As you saw, the two had to be separated, and Nelson had to be escorted from the arena, sparing him from seeing another frustrating loss for his lowly Mavericks, which kicks.
So, yeah, sparing him from seeing another loss, also sparing him from an all-time ass-kicking, because, let's be honest, Nelson gets in the face of a guy like Karl Malone knowing that everyone's going to go, hey, man, okay, break it up.
People are all over the Don Nelson stuff on the talking text line. One said Don Nelson got Dirk. Great one there. Yep. He said
that's another one as well.
Someone else says Don Nelson, Tom Brokaw, and Bob Jeter all lived on the same floor in a dorm at Iowa.
No way.
That's what the 920 says.
Okay, refresh my memory. Tom Brokaw, Don Nelson, and who?
And Bob Jeter. Okay. He was a football player.
Okay. Who's
played
Jeter?
For the Packers.
Oh, okay, yeah. There you go. Looked him up right there.
And then
corner in the NFL.
And someone else said that Don Nelson
played for the Packers and the Bears. Packers from 63 to 70, Bears from 71 to 73. He was two-time champion on the 67-66 Packers. I should know Bob Jeter. That's on me. That's on me. Okay.
It's early in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you're not supposed to remember
everybody. Brokaw, Jeter, and Don Nelson lived on the same floor?
Yeah, same dorm room floor in Iowa.
That's pretty good. That's a concentration of greatness right there.
And then another one says Don Nelson let his players smoke, knew about it. They said All the Smoke podcast just told that story about Nelson.
Yeah. I'm a little conflicted on the marijuana stuff because, look, if you're Don Nelson, you've lived a complete, incredible life as an NBA player, NBA coach. You've got millions and millions and millions of dollars in the bank, and you got a place in Hawaii. Guess what? You can afford to spend your golden years smoking up, chilling, playing cards. It's when you're 22 and you have dropped out of college and you don't have any money and you're driving for Lyft and you're barely making rent. Then the whole lifestyle of, Don Nelson endorses marijuana use. Yeah, but there's a difference, okay? There's a difference. Still, rest in peace, Don Nelson. What an absolute giant. Okay, there's a couple viral videos over the weekend I want to talk about. Pretty amazing, including a golf one. There's a duck viral video I definitely want to talk about as well. There's some other NFL news. In Indy, it looks like the Anthony Richardson era, as brief and unproductive as it was, is over. And we could have an Aaron Donald decision this week. Oh, and the Lions have had to go to the Pastronaut. Give you that story next, plus some other odds and ends. More from the Talking Text line coming up as well. Here for good time, not a long time. Steve Czaban Show with Josh Albrecht on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. All right, we're back on a Monday. Zabe in, Josh out this week. I'm out next week on a family vacay. Aaron Morse, though, capably handling things behind the glass today. A couple NFL notes. Did you see the new Bills stadium? And did you see their Nickel City uniforms?
I have seen them. I try not to hate uniforms too much. I like uniforms that are a little different. These ones seem not great, though.
At best, yeah. Somebody tweeted, it's good to see the internet finally come together on one thing, just for once. Pretty much everyone hated the uniforms. My first reaction was, what the hell are even those? And it's their alternates, their Nickel Cities. They ran a practice at their new stadium, Highmark Stadium, and the stadium is itself getting pretty well crushed on a number of fronts, namely the fact that there are seats that have absolutely obstructed views. Not a lot, but more than one or two, where there's railings that are in the way. Hell, there's a couple seats I saw in which literally half of one of the end zones is blocked by an overhang. And I'm looking at that going, no. Some of the greatest moments in the Bills season are going to certainly come in that half of that end zone that you can't see. And, of course, they had to pay PSLs for this, and they had taxpayer money to build it as well. It's new grass, so it's not synthetic. It's new grass. The Jumbotrons, though, the Jumbotrons have big Michael Scott flat screen energy, if you know Office lore. Do you know that episode?
I don't watch The Office, so I do not.
Okay, so one episode, Michael Scott is showing off his apartment, and he's bragging about his flat screen TV mounted to the wall. It's the tiniest flat screen. It's like 19 inches. And it was so awkward because everyone's like, hey, that's great, Michael. Yeah. The Jumbotrons are not as big as some stadiums, but they made a choice on that because it was like, well, where are we going to put them? We're going to put them up top, above the seats, and really big, or do we fit them into the bowl itself? You were going to say about what you saw about the Bills' new place.
Yeah, just the obstruction, the views. I think at least the glass, some of those like railings are glass so you can kind of see. Like at American Family Field, there are actual railings, and there's plenty of seats in like the upper sections that you can't see because the railings are blocking. You can't see through a solid railing.
Right.
So most stadiums probably have some obstruction somewhere, although Lambeau Field, I'm trying to think, I don't know Lambeau has really any obstructed views at their stadium.
No, I think Lambeau is pretty good in that regard, partly because it doesn't have complicated overhangs and multiple levels. It's
possible.
Pretty simple setup, yeah. But, this is mostly going to be internet griping. If the Bills are good and they win, that's all that's going to matter. Teddy Bridgewater is out as the Lions' backup quarterback. He just announced on Sunday, he's like, I think I'm done. I mean, it was just going to be the clipboard holder for Jared Goff, who has been pretty reliable the last couple of seasons. But the NFL works like this. As soon as you start to think about retirement, you're already retired. And so obviously Teddy B was like, you know what? I don't need this. He's been coaching high school football in Florida, got kind of pulled out of that early retirement to at least be a serviceable backup. So instead of Teddy B, they've already got the Pastronaut, who I forgot his name now. That's
Josh
his nickname.
Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs, thank you. Really smart guy, athletic enough to get it done for a couple of games. You never want to start him for more than like 3 or 4 at the most, because then you'll realize, oh, yeah, this guy's so a backup. But the Lions are a little bit scrambling there. The Lions' schedule, I saw this year, is very indoors and very easy. Goff and the Lions don't play an outdoor game in the cold until week 17 at Chicago. They also have the 32nd easiest strength of schedule this year. Strength of schedules can be a bit misleading because it's still a crapshoot as to guess which teams are going to be good, but it's usually corresponding with, are you playing any good quarterbacks? And if the answer is yes, you have a harder schedule. Anthony Richardson is not a good quarterback. He has been demoted from QB2 in Indianapolis. Riley Leonard's going to be the guy there. Widespread speculation is that this top 10 QB pick has played his last snap as an Indianapolis Colt. Aaron Donald could make his decision today, or this week, I should say, when it comes to whether he's going to play. I retweeted a photo of the viral video. Please look at it. We'll talk tomorrow, Aaron. It's the duck and the golden retriever. You can't get two more adorable creatures than that on planet Earth. A duck and a golden retriever. And they're now best friends. All right, we're done today. Thank you so much for listening. Great job, Aaron. 9 to noon with Kuhn is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.